The all-important New York primary is coming up on Tuesday. In the delegate count, more than 12% of the delegates needed to win the Democratic nomination are up for grabs in that state. On the GOP side, more than 7.5% of the delegates needed to win are on the line. Joining us by Skype this morning to preview the New York primary is Dr. Monica Fitzgerald, an associate professor at St. Mary's College. Good morning, Monica. How you doing?
Good morning. Great to be here.
You know, Monica, we all know that the New York primary is critical. Can you explain for us, is it more critical for the Democratic race or Republican race, or is it really both at this point?
I think it's both at this point, really. You know, the Republicans, it's been kind of crazy to figure out what's going on with them. So it's really hard to predict. Obviously, Donald Trump's going to win New York. He's got a huge lead there. And on the Democratic side, Hillary, the poll came out today that she's got 17%, anywhere between 10 and 17%. She's up in New York, and she's got a delegate lead. I think it's more important for Bernie than it is Hillary at this point to see if he can turn this momentum into actual votes and delegates in New York.
You know, that's an excellent point. Donald Trump is nearly 25 points ahead, so it's clear that he's most likely going to win. Bernie Sanders behind by 17 points, as you say. What do you think of his trip to the Vatican? Was that really a good move in the middle of this important race?
Well, I mean, you know, obviously that's been a media conversation. You know, the Pope Francis is extremely popular. He's popular among progressives, progressive Catholics and liberal progressives in the United States, that some of his message resonates. So was it a smart move 2 days or, you know, the weekend before the New York primary? I'm not so sure. I think that it was a very political move. And it could have, who knows, we'll see what it does for him. I do think some of the backlash around it, that he's pandering, or, you know, the little, did he get invited from the Vatican or did he solicit it? I think that backfired for the campaign a little bit in ways they didn't anticipate. So I'm not quite sure it had the same resonance it did. But I think the fact that Democrats see the Pope as a potential sort of ally in terms of social justice politics is very different and kind of exciting, but I'm not quite sure it's going to help Bernie in the ways that he was hoping.
You know, Monica, let's talk about the money really quickly. The average contribution for Bernie Sanders, $27. We know that Hillary Clinton has raised millions upon millions from Wall Street. That's a central issue right now with her just being here in San Francisco. People were protesting the fact that the event in Nob Hill was so expensive to get into. Now she's down in L.A. with another expensive event at George Clooney's home. Do you feel that this is going to hurt her, or do you really feel it makes any difference how they raise cash at this point? Are people really paying attention?
I do think they are. And all over the news shows, we hear people talking about that. I think it's going to resonate with Democrats more than the general election. And I think, you know, I saw George Clooney kind of talking about it earlier today as well. You know, I think Hillary Clinton and Democrats are very much committed to overturning Citizens United. I think that there is something very pragmatic about playing the game that is dealt right now in terms of being able to compete with Republicans. And I think the Hillary campaign's making the case, too, that she's also raising money for down-ticket Democrats, which I think is really important.
Yeah, and for the first time in decades, really, the California primary is so important this time around. We have the biggest amount of delegates on both sides. What do you think this does for our state now, to have the focus here now and have this finally matter in our state and the entire country turning its attention to us coming up on June 7th?
I think Californians are so excited to be relevant. I do think that that's really important. And the polls show Hillary and Bernie tightening in California. I think she's still really ahead, but that's certainly shrinking, and he's got plenty of time to catch up on that. And with the Republicans, who knows? Trump is ahead right now in California, but I think Cruz is really gaining ground on him. So I think California is going to be huge, and it's really exciting because we are such a big state, and we should have much more to say in this election. So I think it will be really, really exciting.
Yeah, the latest polling showing that Hillary Clinton is 10 points ahead in California. Donald Trump only 7 points ahead. Dr. Monica Fitzgerald, we will be talking to you again and following this very closely, of course, coming up to June 7th. Thanks for joining us this morning.
I look forward to it. Have a good day.